taking so long?
Why? The floor is yours. Boom.
Okay. Ano tayo?
Alright, last we left off,
Kalimutan ko
you
na.
know, Angel Star did her testimony, and through that, we found our one and only source of evidence that points against Lana being the murderer. A scarf.
Na, nasa muffler.
Yes.
Scarf ba yun? Yung nasa muffler?
Yes, a muffler is in the muffler.
Muffler din ang tawag sa scarf?
So, Mr. Wright?
Huh?
Basta kasi
What?
ngayon, second day trial na to.
No, this is still actually the first trial. We're continuing. I'm an idiot. It said latter.
Are trials always like this with you? Like you're swimming up from the bottom of a lake, about to reach the surface. But no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there.
Bakit parang ako nung singaw ng katawan? Nalito ko na.
Pretty much. Except today we're swimming in quicksand. What happened to your sister anyway?
Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers.
Probably something to do with that piece of cloth.
So, this is where we turn the trial around, right? Her only weapon, a tiny insignificant piece of cloth.
Bakit siya naging pala? Bakit naging advantage nila na yun?
Because from the testimony with like Emma says, it's very insignificant. I recorded this shit. We can always just rewatch them.
Kasi,
You can look at the court
sinabi ba
record
ni
as
Angel
always.
Star
Yeah.
na may scarf na suot si ano?
Yeah, but in the picture she took, it wasn't there.
Wala.
There all sorts of
Nandun sa muffler, ibig sabihin siya talaga pumatay. Mas lalong disadvantage. Kasi nasa boat siya.
all will be revealed soon. I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth. Hola, partner.
Si ano? Sino yung police?
I forgot his name too.
Si ano ba nito?
They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up its temper.
Si Wild.
Marshall. That's what they told me when I was a youngin' at least.
Officer Marshall!
Thought I'd come to take a look, see how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They've got the home ranch locked down tighter than a fort in enemy territory. That hard to slip out, huh? What's going on over there anyway? All the police I've seen these last 2 days have been really on edge. Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example.
Kunin mo nga yung bigs ko na. Wild ka. Kung nasa kama, nasa TV, or nasa ibabaw ng cabinet. Isang nakita agad. Isang nakita agad.
Cabinet. Bam, bam, badam, bam.
Ginawa mo yung ano. Yan, nakita agad.
From Officer Marshall? The whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. He wasn't even wearing a scarf.
You don't say. Now don't that just beat all? I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. Saw it that day too. She was wearing a red muffler. I guess.
What?
The award ceremony that afternoon. Edgeworth's seen it too, I reckon. Hard to believe Emma and Lana were sisters since Emma looks so different when she grows up 7 years later.
Oh, meron na dyan, grows up?
In Apollo Justice, the 4th game. The photograph taken at the crime scene, she wasn't wearing a scarf.
So, Miss Starr wasn't mistaken.
Well, it's about time.
Ayun na. Tulong na.
Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns, and sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell. Ugh, I have a bad feeling about this.
So, where are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright?
The void.
Nawalan na siya ng pag-asa.
If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Woo-wee! Jaja, they were investigating the muffler during the recess. I'd like to resume? What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution. Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes.
Bakit?
What's more, your eyes are unfocused. You're doubled over. Your back is bent. It can't be! This can't happen!
Bakit?
I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth.
Well then, I believe it is time we continued on with this trial.
Ignore the note ignore the Discord notifications.
During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. This is unacceptable! It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself.
Oh shit, di ba pala ako nakainom ng gamot?
That's supposed to be during lunch.
No, morning shift. Natamad-tamad ako buwaba.
Excuse me. Knock knock.
Mga 10.
Who's there?
Sino yan?
What's with this guy? Strange stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom.
Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in.
Sino yan?
A whole 1 Celsius. Who on earth is he? They are using Fahrenheit here, like fucking idiots.
Ah, it's you!
Kilala si Judge. Wala.
Oh!
Hindi pa nagkakakilala. Wala pang name.
Sorry I'm late, Uji. The roads were packed. It's just me. Long time no see, eh, Uji? How you been? Swim much these days? Ah, hello. No, I've been so busy. Busy. Uji, my boy, I have to make time to relax. Yes, indeed.
Uji seems to be his nickname for the judge.
Judge.
I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. Sorry, but who are you?
Aha! So you're Righto, the attorney. I've heard good things about you, son.
Thanks.
So sorry about a little Rorthy giving you all that trouble, eh? You know, we should all go swimming together sometime. Jolly.
Little Worthy?
Mr. Wright. You don't know the district chief of police?
He's the one in charge of the investigation. The one who sent Marshall and Star and all that stuff to investigate the murder. In the parking
Siya
lot.
pala ang chief of police.
Yep.
Hindi niya kilala.
Chief of police?
He's the top-ranking police officer in the entire district.
Hindi niya kilala.
Name's Gant. Damon Gant. Pleased to meet everyone. So, to what do we owe this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Well, it's worthy here. Look at the poor fellow. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this.
Hey, that's... my sister's muffler! So the Star wasn't just seeing things. When the crime occurred, this guy really was wearing that muffler.
But to think that it was stuffed into that exhaust pipe. On Lil Worthy's car, no less. Was that? It's really quite embarrassing, even for us.
Ano to?
Well, what's this? SL92. It's what you'd call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing this is.
Please lang.
Chief! What kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth? How could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? Now, wait a minute, Worthy. I've no desire to hear your excuses. I'm telling you to wait. Or didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document where it says person in charge of investigation. There's no mistaking that signature is there. Miles Edgeworth. That's not fair. On the day of the crime, I had... You're head in the cloud because you got that award. I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology.
Diba? Si Miles din pala ang nakamiss.
Apparently. What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made.
Kaya nga, si Miles pala.
Very threatening.
This is the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words.
This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Oo nga, ano ba nangyayari kay Miles?
Ah. The court accepts this in new evidence. But I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. Yes? Just to be sure, I'd like to take a look at the blade of this knife. The blade, Your Honor? I don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes, well, I think all you have to do is push that switch and... If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I wouldn't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I won't be able to point at people anymore.
Come on, just hurry up and open it.
Naturuan ko sila. Ay, ito sa maandar. Ano?
You just push the switch.
Ah! Don't scare me like that.
I'm the one who's scared.
Look at this knife blade. The tip's broken off.
There's blood. This dark red stain. Blood?
Herb, nakatago pa na sa muffler yung knife.
This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us? About the split between the prosecutors and the police, and this knife. Sure thing, not a problem, not even a little one, really.
Witness testimony na.
This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. A detective was killed at the police department, see? What a mess! Time of the crime, 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? Not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. There was a murder at the police department? A detective? There was also a murder at the parking lot. A detective. That's what we're doing on trial right now.
Ano yun? Ito nga yung kay Lana, di ba?
No,
Iba pa to?
it was also a detective, but it was in the parking lot, not the dep.
Dating the police department. Ay, yung kay Lana, di ba, sa prosecutor's office?
Yeah, sa parking lot.
Yung prosecutor, ito.
Police department. That's hush-hush information, Uji. We haven't exactly announced it yet. Wait a second. He said 5:15. That's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office.
Sabay.
Very.
Oh, come.
Order! 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 Anyway,
Masakit ang tonsil mo na. Parang ako yun.
we at the department were all flustered, as you might well assume. Training. We're in the middle of a top secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? I think we understand the police department situation.
Ang daming audience.
Yeah. How does the audience exist anyway? Well, Mr. Wright. Two detectives killed at the same time in two different places.
The chances of that are really slim. Scientifically speaking, of course.
I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well. However, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. Alright,
Ano lang, press?
yeah, that's the usual way we do this here. Excuse me, special? Hard to come by this particular knife anywhere else. Might that special thing be this little tag? Oh, sorry, Rhino, but I can't say that now. Not that.
Ang gulo naman kausap niya.
We've established that the knife in Goodman's chest was this knife. Now, why was there another knife at the scene of the crime? That's quite a mystery.
Baka si Goodman ang pumatay dun sa una. Tapos nasaksak din siya. Tapos tumakbo lang siya doon. Tapos tutulungan siya ni Lana. Kaya dalawa yung weapon.
And like a mystery, it's wrapped in something. A muffler. This knife was found on the scene of our crime. I think that makes it connected to the case, don't you?
Kasi kay Goodman, na isang knife na nakapulot sa likod niya. Oo, yun ang sinaksak siya dun sa police department.
But they did happen at the exact same time, so how could one run all the way?
Tsaka magkalayo daw ang police, di ba? Department.
So, there's a lot of things that go on at the police department I can't explain. It's delicate, okay? Sorry, Righto.
Maybe there's something about the knife that'll give us a clue. Let's examine that knife while we can, Righto.
Evidence that links this knife to Detective Goodman. Might want to look at the court record. I think perhaps the pieces are falling into place. Should try presenting the piece of evidence that had me stumped all this time. So, how were things down at the police department? Something happened at the police department too, huh? You got a good look in your eyes there, right, oh my boy? Sharp, hungry. So, something did happen. And why wasn't I informed? Why weren't you informed? Well, why didn't you ask? No matter, I understand. You were busy, what with Lana's case and all. Well, what happened? What happened at the police department that day? On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department. That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Uji? I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator? We have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. That was quick. Just arrested. That was quick. Yeah, but there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, Righto?
Ibig sabihin yung sa kanila, nahuli na nila.
I suppose I could help if you help me by giving me data on your case. Oh, good one. This kid's sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing and one thing only. What do you think we should ask?
Where the victim was found, how the victim was killed, when the victim... Hindi na pwedeng isa-isahin? Pwede naman natin basahin isa-isa.
I guess. Yeah, there's no penalty. But it is kinda annoying.
Isahin natin.
So tell me, where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found. But I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department.
Evidence room?
The evidence room?
Para pa kami
You wouldn't know about the evidence room, would you, Righto? We went there last episode with Manfred von Karma. The L6 incident. Can't say I've heard of it.
Hindi niyo maalala.
I guess I should ask again once I learn a bit more about this evidence room. There's something stranger about this than the place where the body was found.
Tapos tayo dito, hindi pa.
Hindi pa, that's new. 5:15? But that's when Detective Goodman was killed in the prosecutor's office. What? Funny, isn't it? A murder at the prosecutor's place and a murder at our place at the very same time. What are the chances? Coincidence? I think not. This is just my gut feeling, and I'd say there's a 0.001% chance of that happening. Chief Gant, please tell us more about the incident. You're back to full health. How can you say there's no connection? Oh, because I'm the chief of police. I can't just say anything I please, righto? You understand? Try to understand, righto? Well, if you can't prove there's a connection, more power to you. Maybe there is something that ties the two murders together. Whatever it is, I'd better find it and get to the bottom of this. Two detectives were killed at 5:15, one at the prosecutor's office, and one at the police department. Can't be a coincidence. And that knife? What was it doing there? In the muffler, and the muffler. Better check this knife out. Alright, we're back to the beginning. Since we already pressed on every testimony. You wanna try going back to that? Alright, go. To the right. Proceed.
Saan?
Darrows. There we go, this is the one. Now we just skip to the question.
Pinagana natin.
Well, how was the detective killed?
Pinaksak.
How was he killed? Now that's the interesting part. It was what we in the police force call a stabbing with a knife. A knife? That's exactly the same as Detective Goodman. That's the spirit. We're cooking now. But you know, that's not the only thing that was exactly the same.
Huh?
What do you mean?
Ano pa?
There were more similarities between the two cases than the cause of death. Yeah, so we don't need to ask about the time, we already know.
Kaya nga, saan na yun?
You have to go back.
I guess if you want to ask.
Kaya nga. Ika?
Yeah,
Tapos sabi pindutin.
you just press it. And we can skip to the question part. Right click hold to speed up text.
Right?
Yeah. Hold down the right mouse button. Just keep holding.
Baka kasi lumagpas eh.
Nah, it won't. So, when did the murder at the police department occur? Now that's a sharp question, Righto. Very sharp. Well, my boy, you're gonna love this.
Same day, di ba?
Yep. See, I told you there was no reason. Alright, so you got a goal. You gotta try linking this evidence, you gotta try linking this murder with the murder we currently have at hand. Think you can do that? You still haven't checked your evidence, you know.
Saan ako mag-check ng evidence? Check.
You just click him again.
It's L9.
Doesn't that seem kinda familiar to ya?
Oo, meron yan eh. Meron yan doon, nakasulat sa isang ano, SL9.
Maybe if you think differently. Look differently. From a different, new perspective.
SL9.
Bam, 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 bam. Remember, you gotta present the evidence at the correct line of testimony.
Kaya nga.
Maybe you should go look at the testimony again. Once you've given a thorough look at all the evidence you have. Just go back and forward as necessary. Yeah, this one's pretty hard. I had a hard time with this too. Pretty sure I looked up a walkthrough here and gave up.
Kaya nga. Ito.
Yeah, if you present evidence at that line that does connect, you think you have such an evidence?
Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this smart and
There's been an evidence that's been confusing Phoenix for a while. You know what that one is? We've gotten it since the investigation.
unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and this knife. Ito.
The knife isn't the connection because the knife is what you're trying to prove already. SL9. The hint is a piece of paper. You think that's the one? Then go ahead, nothing to lose. Gotta press the press.
No, very good one.
Ja. Wait a second. Ah, at last, an honest to goodness objection! This knife, This has to have something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? Aha! And honest to goodness, what do you mean from Uji? This is great! Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL92. And this is important. Why? Over here we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. What's this? 6 minus 7 is 12 divided by 2? Your Honor, it's upside down.
Oh.
Upside. The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But if you flip it, watch what happens.
Oh.
But turn it around, what do you get? SL92. Aha! Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. They were in a hurry. SL9. That's the same thing that's written on this knife's tag. Order, order! Well, Chief. Oh well. I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, Righto. I win? Ah, what game is this guy playing?
Ibig sabihin, konektado talaga, no?
Yes, very.
Kasi yung knife na yon natagpuan sa muffler.
Yeah.
Pero hindi naman yung sinasabing yung knife na natagpuan sa muffler, yun yung nakapatay dun sa police department.
Yeah.
Wala pang sinasabi si si Chief, di ba? Na yun ang
Well, the switchblade was probably what was used to kill the guy in the evidence room, but in the parking lot, it was the knife with Edgeworth. This knife was evidence in the case. It was stolen from the apartment's evidence room. This is new testimony, by the way. You should try pressing it. Yeah.
This knife
So this knife was stolen? Yes, but on the day of the murder. It was evidence, you say. Was it in fact a murder weapon? Nice, nice, nice. Good show, Little Worthy. It was a murder weapon, as it happens.
Walang payat na yung busy ni Mami, oh. Payat ko ni Jane. Payat ni Mami, no? Payat ng busy, oh.
This isn't really the time for this. Was evidence from a case long since solved. So this knife was stolen on the day of the murder. It was found in the exhaust pipe of Edgeworth's car. Hard to think there isn't a connection there.
Naparas na ba natin ito? Hindi pa?
Nah, this is old news.
Bago na?
No, this is old.
Old na?
Yeah.
Ano na
There's
tayo?
only one new testimony, so obviously that's where you gotta focus on. Go back.
Present?
I guess so, yeah. That's your only option right now.
This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department. Yung knife na.
I guess. Nope.
Ah.
Alright. Maybe we should try pressing the future ones. Because this new information might change stuff.
I don't think you're gonna win anything by pressing here, actually. Presenting here, actually. I mean, not pressing.
Bakit ulit? Posible.
Yeah.
Ay, posible na.
Nah. Just try going back to the previous testimonies. To the new testimonies forward.
Ito?
You might get something new from pressing them again. Like this one. I don't know. And that's it. You reached the end. We already read this, so just skip it.
Ay, ako na tatlo. Anong gagawin kayo ito?
Just skip it. We've already done this. Yeah. Once they finish talking and giving you hints, they'll go back to the you'll go back to the cross-examination.
This knife was evidence in a case it was stolen from the See what the mess, the crime. Back at the time. Tapos ito.
Like I said, try pressing evidence again. Try pressing the testimonies again, I mean.
Simulan natin sa ano kanina.
Yeah, sure. Now we already pressed that, so no need. There we go. I think this is new. Yeah. If it's already been said, yeah, there's nothing new here. Yeah, just right-click, hold. There might be some new questions you can ask.
Masabi na rin ito.
Yep. The evidence room. This knife was evidence in the case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room.
Huh?
You see?
Ano?
This one is new now. This one's different.
Hindi pa nagtaba yung pa rin eh.
Nope.
Sabi yan kanina.
Nope. This
This knife
flashback
was
wasn't here
evidence.
before.
This knife was evidence in the case. It was stolen.
Yeah, he changed that, and now after asking this question again, we now know something new.
Sige na, basta.
This is a flashback. We already read this.
Tuloy lang ulit.
There's the connection between the two cases. Yeah. You seem happy, Mr. Wright. Happy? We just got handed our ticket to go to town on this case. I think we accidentally skipped some dialogue. With the link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. I think they thought it was obvious and you would present the evidence immediately before pressing on this testimony, but you pressed everything first before you got to the note. Now you can get Gant to testify about the details. Hold on, I need to see, since it should be obvious now, if we missed any dialogue. Just so I can voice act it for the fans. Tell me, where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found, but I can say it took place in the evidence room. The evidence room? Wait a second. I have heard of that. The evidence room. Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now? Alright, and maybe you should try pressing this one again as well, just in case. Chief. This is new. Don't skip it. The defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven.
No?
Heh, you don't say. Well, out with it, Righto. What's your connection?
Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen.
The knife found in the lot was stolen. Okay.
From the police department's evidence room.
Yeah.
Not to mention, the victim had on him the case number on this knife's evidence tag.
So, ibig sabihin si Goodman ang dakaw?
It seems so, maybe. We also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed. There do seem to be too many connections for this to be a coincidence. You two make a good pair. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduce right here. Chief, I request that you release your information on the victim at the police department.
Kaya nga, kasi kung
See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet, and all. Can we get the information unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all. What, really? Who would have guessed? I'll cooperate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department, okay? This is new, yeah. If you're going to tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Ah, well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly. It's still very fat. Oh well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can out of him. What do you want to ask?
Lahat yan.
Alright. Okay, well, what division was the victim stationed in? Oh, you want to know that, do you? Do you? Criminal Affairs, Division 1, the detectives responsible for homicide cases. That's the same as Dick Gumshoe. Yeah, what Phoenix said. Detective Goodman, who was killed in the underground parking lot, was homicide too.
No?
Technically, yeah. It's almost like a serial killer was after homicide detectives. Except the serial killing happened simultaneously, scientifically speaking. Well, I sure hope Detective Gumshoe isn't next on the list. Nah, he still shows up in the second and third game after this. He can't die.
Hindi nga, ang gulo malapit na siya. Ano na siya? Target.
Blah blah blah. Skip this. Skip this.
Tapos na tayo dyan?
Yeah, we already read this. And we're back at the beginning of the testimony. Alright, go press on that thing again.
Dulo.
Yeah. Hey, too far.
Bumalik?
Yeah, you went too far. Just skip this. When there's no more right arrow, that means you're at the end of the testimony. Yeah.
So, diba?
Yeah. Just right click. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that. course not. You won't tell me their name after all. We keep a tight lid on ID numbers, so don't go getting your hopes up. The number is 5842189. Well, that's quite long. And we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. 82. I can't do it.
5842129.
Yeah.
5842129.
Ah, you're pretty good. I can't do it. You didn't even get the first number right. Well, Mr. Wright, does this tell you anything? The ID number of the victim at the police department. 5842189. Don't you think?
Yeah.
No. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does. I think. Meaning? It has to be what I think it is. What does this mean? It's pretty obvious what it means. Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department. Tells you something. What does it tell you? 5842189.
Yung isa lang pala ang pinatay. Gunman pa din.
Go present it.
Dinala lang sa ano. Present na natin?
Yeah?
Hindi naman ito nakailaw na green.
Yeah, you're supposed to present something. Go. Witness. What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. No, it's just, I got confused.
Yung pala yun. Pinatay na siya sa police department.
But it's the exact same time, so he was at two places at the same time, and he was killed twice at two different locations at the same time.
Oo, may sumaksak pa.
This is news? Huh? Just come out with both guns blazing, like you always do. Police department, the prosecutor's office. Two places, two detectives. One time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here. Oh, is it yours? No, Your Honor. I'm a defense attorney, remember?
Ngayon na naman yan. Ano ba yan?
This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, Righto. Personal IDs are top secret. Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189. And this means what exactly? Huh? Wait, that ID number we heard from the chief earlier. That started with 82. I've forgotten. Didn't even get the first number right again. The number the chief police gave us was 5842189. Wait a second, Wright. What does this mean? That's what I want to know. The two ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that?
Hindi po si Angel Star.
I don't know.
Sige,
Maybe in the
pala.
waiting. Yeah, it's still Gant where... Oh ho ho! Sharpest attack, Righto! Sharpest attack! But wait! Detective Goodman is our victim! He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot. You mean to tell me he was also killed at 5:15 in the evidence room? Yet the detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department. In the evidence room at the exact same time. That's impossible. So So what we're saying is, the same person was killed at the same time, and in a completely different location. Nothing makes sense anymore. Order, Chief! What does this mean? No, what I want to know is, why didn't I hear about this?
Naman parating walang alam eh.
Yes, it's top secret. Fine, but I'm the prosecutor in charge of the case.
Kaya nga, parating walang alam, Edgeworth.
Yeah. Now just wait a second, Worthy. No need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said wait. Or didn't you hear me? The oversight, the grave error. Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. Remember?
Patay ka, Edgeworth.
What? How? How dare? We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our officer Meekins who brought you the news. Oh, remember? Officer Meekins? Officer Meekins?
Sino yun?
From the day one investigation. Remember he showed up while we were talking with him in his office? And then Edgeworth's all like, I don't care.
Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before? Wait, aha!
Ayan, nandyan sila. Ayan,
Yeah.
parang lampayatot.
Yeah. Apparently, he had the info. Bigu.
Kaya lang, hindi niya kanya nasabi kay Edgeworth. Kasi
Yeah,
si
because Edgeworth was there but he ignored him. Remember?
Ah.
You don't mean him.
Oo nga pala, iniinom niya pala.
According to Meekins, he didn't accept the report.
Ah,
Hard to believe.
kailangan mo.
But your officer, he told me, he said the report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman, murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on the top of the report. Gah!
Lumala ka dahil sa'yo.
Why didn't your officer tell me?
Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. It did seem challenged mentally.
In any case, this is a serious error, a gross negligence of your duty on your part, Worthy. But sir, you could have submitted the report this morning to the court as evidence. Then These silences are strange. No such luck this time, Worthy. Or should I say, unworthy.
Diba?
What?
Luwas tayo nila.
Yeah, well, let's just finish this. The next when we get to the next testimony, that's when we stop. Now, what's the second law of evidence rule? Alright.
Well, Mr. Wright?
Huh? Oh, well, it's, Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Now, is this rule relevant? Normally, you submit a list of evidence to be used in the court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So, what does this mean? I can submit this evidence until the connection was proven in court. Guess Edgeworth never submitted it already. So Rule 2 applied. The connection was just proven by Righto over here. Good job, Righto, my boy. Huh? I was just doing my job.
Gawa.
No. No! Alright, that's where we end, thanks. Oh, wait, hold on. Well, might as well listen to this the end. I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy, with all those rumors. You were even in the defendant's chair just this past December.
Kawawa naman. Masyadong
Yeah. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part. Mr. Edgeworth, please, just give me one day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened, if it's the last thing I do. You'd better get results this time, really. You have my profound apologies, sir.
We're Mr. Edgeworth.
I don't think there's ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. I'll grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Will that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake, I hope it's not decisive.
Kakatanggap lang niya ng award.
Very well. Court is adjourned. Alright, we should get a save now. Yep, alright, we're done.
Okay. Gagawin ko ng gamot. Ubunod na ang rice cooker. And then, aga tayo kakain. Mga 11.
Sure.
Ano oras na ba? 10:30 na pala.